Namaskar, Adab, Sat Shri Akal, a very warm welcome. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Hope you're all doing good. You're staying healthy. You're staying safe. जैसे कि हर बार हम जब ये सेशन शुरू करते हैं, we definitely talk a little bit about the situation, the current situation that's going around the world. अब तो numbers बहुत बढ़ते जा रहे हैं. So guys, please take this COVID very, very, very seriously, and please be mindful of your surroundings. If you know, अगर आप बाहर जाना किसी तरह से avoid कर सकते हैं, please do so. If you cannot, then please take all the necessary precautions. Make sure you have the masks on. Do not take rid of the masks, and please take other hygiene related and social distancing norms follow करें. ये सेशन, ये सीरीज आज 6 सेशन जिसका आज होने वाला है. Really looking forward to this one as well. जैसे कि ज़्यादातर मैं ऑब्जर्व कर रहा हूँ, I'm absorbing a lot of information, a lot of insights, a lot of details being shared in these sessions, and people are really connecting pretty well with both the speakers, both the hosts, and both the guests. अब उन्हें host कहें या guest कहें, it doesn't really make any difference because these guys really are the experts who are helping us, each one of us, get to that एक mental state कहें या एक spiritual state कहें जहां पर हमें होना चाहिए. And everybody is aspiring to be there. So I'm really glad and I'm grateful and I'm always humbled to have both of them on the screen, and I'm going to get them right away. Namaskar and welcome to both of you.
Namaste, 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 everybody.
All right.
And thank you for joining here. Thank you.
Thank you for doing this. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of gratitude for both of you. बहुत देर से जैसे हम ये almost this is the sixth session, so it's been almost 7 weeks, 7 to 8 weeks, barring 1 or 2 week when we did not do it. तो तब से people have been connected, people have really been listening to you very, very dearly, and very, very these things are very close to everybody's hearts and minds. So I'm really thankful for that, and let's get right into this particular topic, which is of another particularly for me of great interest, because हम सब लोग चाहते हैं कि हमें कोई वो जादू की छड़ी पकड़ा दे या कोई सक्सेस का मंत्र पकड़ा दे, and we could all just follow those instructions. We really would love to hear both of you. But before we get into that, let's start with the same standard question. What's that one thing which is on top of your mind? So let's start with you, Vibhuti ji, and then we'll go to Krishna ji.
Well, the number one top of the mind scenario is that another 10 days time and it will be Sushant Singh's birthday. So, that is something that one can't miss. And especially when you are watching the show and you have committed yourself to do that. And to that end, I say that today is a show of success. We are going to talk about success, and I pray, humbly pray and pray and pray for you to succeed in it, in your mission to find the villains who killed him. And so that comes uppermost in my mind. The second part comes with reference to this, is that this subject matter that we have chosen, that I have not come across in my as many years of my life, that anybody who deliberately wants to fail. Everybody wants to succeed, whatever they are doing. That's a historical truth. If there is anybody who deliberately wants to fail, that is an exception to the rule. So as we step forward, we will talk about it more as to what contributes to the success, what leads to success. And, over to Krishna ji now for his opening statement.
Krishna ji, you're mute. You are mute.
Okay, I'm unmute now. Thank you, Vibhuti ji, and thank you, Varun ji, for continuing this show. Kya top of the mind mein hai? That's really what you said. Sharir madhye khalu dharma sadhanam, and that's related to SSR as well, because you need to be careful that your body stays. Otherwise you can't do anything. The success doesn't mean anything. But at the same time, at cost of what? SSR or Sushant, did not compromise. Is that success or failure? So, I mean, somewhere we have to define what is success. And for success' sake, are you going to compromise in life? So I think it's a related topic, but that's the top of my mind. Ki Corona hai, be safe, make sure that you stay healthy, and that's an important
Right.
thing.
Absolutely. So let's jump right into this, which is uh, what is success? Success means different things to different people. Success could mean somebody who has millions and millions of dollars. Success means somebody who has a successful career. Success means just having dinner on the table for the family is also success. So success के तो बहुत सारे मतलब हैं, बहुत सारी definitions हो सकती हैं. But how do you guys define success, and what would be your way of explaining, okay, this is what we do, or this is how we achieve that, whatever particular quote unquote success that you define for yourself?
You want to start, Krishnaji?
No, you can start.
Okay, I'll say. Success is a thing, like very correctly said, it means different things for different people. And it all depends upon how you measure your performance in relation to something that matters. So if you were to take into account, say, my favorite is sports, say for example, if you were to look at sports as a benchmark of how the success is defined in sports, it is all about a successful sportsman is one who consistently produces winning results. He's consistent in producing winning results, which means what? His strike rate is higher than average. He is a clutch player where you can count on him to throw a basket in the clutch moments, or you are guaranteed that he will hit a six when it comes to that. Or the famous one is Ramanathan Krishnan playing de Kock in the Brazilian guy in the Asian final round of the India-Brazil tennis tournament, Davis Cup. Ramanathan Krishnan was down 5-2, 15-40 and a match point. And a let allowed him to get 30-40. And then it was deuce, rest is history. Ramanathan Krishnan went on to win and beat, his name was Thomas Koch or somebody like that. He won it. This is what it means. For Ramanathan Krishnan at that time, that was the pinnacle of success. It's a different matter that in the final round against Australia, India was swept 5-0. So what I'm trying to say to you is that it is delivering consistent winning results that can translate into every aspect of life. That when your performance, your strike rate about your work is better than average, like hospitals. Now, St. Francis Hospital, Heart Hospital near my house, they proudly say that our success rate is 99.8%. Hospitals produce that kind of a thing as a success results. Baseball has, if you have a 0.32 strike rate, you are genius. So that's what is important to determine, that in relation to a particular field, if your strike rate is above average, you are successful, consistent winning. The other part of the success story is also that remaining time you are going to fail. Somebody will beat you. Not everybody wins every tournament. Not everybody wins every lab result. Not everybody has a winning thing every second of his life. How do you deal with that failure? That is the second element of success. It's only when you fail that you learn not to commit that mistake again. That's my definition of success, that, hey, good things and bad things will happen all the time. Success and failure will happen all the time. The question is how you rebound from that failure. That is a very important thing. And that's what we will talk about going forward.
Perfect. Krishna ji, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
Yeah, I'll just take the same story, forward. Behind that success, how much work goes into it.
Right.
The success does not happen without work and commitment and the endurance and resilience and all those things that go with it. So that's where I bring in the narrative. I mean, what narrative you are living it. हम लोग जब बचपन में थे, when we were going to high school, we had Raja Radhika Raman, a story that was taught to us कि कांटो तजे कांट ताज तले कांटा और कांटो तजे अंधेरा, something like that, कि if you are a king you are not happy because ताज के नीचे कांटा है. So that was the concept, and that was the concept that okay, uh, you- that success meaning that you are rich or you are saksham and you are big was meaningless in a way. That's how we were brought up. So we never strived, at that time. I mean, the strive and the strike and the drive came later on. um, and so narrative when you are growing up is important, because that's what I always say, that if you are born and you start teaching the school kid non-attachment and tyag karo, at that time there is a moment, there is a time when you want to achieve something later on. Jab Arjun ban jao, then you can learn all those things. But the society and the social narrative that is there at the moment, it's different. People in India want to succeed. The people in India want to win the World Cup. हालांकि अब की बार तो नहीं, मैंने बहुत अच्छा किया. But that drive is coming. Sportsman, the support is coming, mehnat is coming. So I see a change in India, even in sports, and maybe in few years, we will see a World Cup team in football or soccer, as it is called in USA. So that narrative is, what kind of narrative you build in the society is important in how successful that society becomes. Like राम के टाइम में लौ कुश भी लगते थे छोटे हैं. So so that is an important part. And how in the political system, like हुआ कि भाई अच्छे लोग पॉलिटिक्स में नहीं जाएंगे, तो विनोबा भावे नहीं गए, और हमारे वो बिहार के जो थे, um, I forget his name. I mean, वो leader थे. He didn't. Jai Prakash Narayan. He didn't go in directly in politics. So एक narrative बन गया कि अच्छे लोग नहीं जाएंगे. It's good to see people like Narendra Modi there. Um, Otherwise, SSR will keep happening, because अगर राज आप दे दीजिए दूसरे के हाथ में, and जो कि they are not as good or nice people, then what are the chances of good people?
Right. So यहाँ पर since both of you have brought up Sushant, and you bring a kind of a connection between that. मैं सिर्फ इतना ही सुशांत से obviously I am greatly influenced, और मैं यहाँ सक्सेस और सुशांत दोनों को एक ही एक ही चीज की तरह देखता हूँ, बिकॉज सुशांत ने जैसे सक्सेस अचीव किया, जिस तरह से अचीव किया, ऑन हिज ओन हार्ड वर्क, ऑन हिज परसिवरेंस, on his dedication and his consistency. He took risks. When he was a nobody, he wanted to be somebody. When he became somebody, he wanted to become another level पे आगे जाने के लिए. He took all the risks. एक Delhi College of Engineering में एक seat लेना is no joke. For some of us, that was the highest success that a student level पे achieve कर सकते हो कि तुम एक ऐसे premier institute पे admission लेना. When he was there, he left that, he went to dancing and all that other traits. For him, becoming a good dancer or a great dancer was a definition of success. From there, he acted on television. He became the top shot on the television as well. So वहां पर भी success achieve किया, but that was not the end of his success story. Then to the movie industry, and then from the movie industry, when he was still doing pretty well, he wanted to do a lot of things outside of the industry as well for the community, चाहे वो apps हो, चाहे वो पढ़ाई हो बच्चों की, चाहे NGO, and a lot of other things. So the things kept on evolving, life kept on evolving, and that's why right now अगर देखा जाए, even though we don't have Sushant around us, but his legacy, the learnings that he's given is individual success stories बहुत important है हम सबके लिए. And ऐसे ही हमें आगे अपने लिए भी everybody should set those goals or parameters or those success milestones. So from your perspective and from the experience or the knowledge that you bring in, how do you suggest or what do you suggest for anybody, चाहे वो किसी भी industry से हो, doesn't really matter, personal life या professional life doesn't really matter, how do we gauge or sense those milestones, and how do we work towards those different milestones?
I will take the shot on this, Krishnaji. If
Sure.
yeah, okay. You know, taking without any side to it, you raised certain universal elements of success and life, Varun. Giving Sushant's example, from engineering to film, it's a remarkable transition in career. What does it say? He could have been successful in engineering as well, but he went into films, right? The question is that he was seeking and searching where he was enjoying the most and was feeling more successful. That's another part. It's not entertaining per se.
Right.
It's about his own expression, and he became successful in it in film industry. So there are two elements of this that I wanted to share with you. That a scenario we all confront day in and day out, and that's called learning. You use the word learning also in your conversation just now.
Right.
So what is the most important part learning is that every learning creates a level of competence in all of us. And for that part, what is critical is to acknowledge by everybody that we need not know everything about everything. That's the most important thing for everyone, which is what creates maximum stress on everyone. We are expected to do because we are expected to know everything that we are dealing with. So that's most important for us to recognize that we don't need to know everything, and we don't have to know everything about everything. But how do we keep increasing our proficiency and competence? And that's through learning. So there comes a moment in time that we all must recognize that we have to be a beginner in any field that we want to learn. So whether you are a computer scientist, computer engineer, IT, doctor, surgeon, banker, private banker, which all we are, we have to remember that we are beginners in a particular chosen field, and we become experts only after years and years of practice, and performance. Isn't it? We do not become champion overnight. So how much time you are giving to yourself to be successful is a direct relationship with how much time are you allowing yourself to learn. And Krishnaji used the word commitment. Learning is a function of commitment. Are you committed to doing that? So I'll quickly say, because we have a hard stop at 10 today, so I quickly will say there are 5 stages of learning. First stage is the beginner, to recognize that we are beginner. From there on, you move to the next stage, where we know a little bit and we think we know a lot, but we are actually not knowing everything. So we are in the novice stage. Trick part of novice is that we begin to feel, oh, yes, I have conquered and I know everything. That's what is happening. Third stage of learning and increasing competency is more practice, then you become competent. I know a lot more than average. Then you become proficient. Then you become virtuoso. And the last stage of that competence development is becoming master. So remember one thing, every stage of going, if you make the scale of from beginner to novice to proficient to competent, proficient, then you have virtuoso and master. It seems incremental increase, but every single stage is tougher, much more tough than the previous stage. And that's the reason majority of us give up at some stage, and then we cover our inefficiencies saying ki main janta hu, don't worry about it. And that's what produces inefficiency in the system and then that produces the stress and strain. My thought process about this learning is that everyone must commit yourself to becoming what you are best at, what you must know your own strength. I can't go beyond that, you know. So we all know that in this particular field, I can't go beyond this. And that's where you achieve satisfaction that I did what I had to do to the best of my ability.
Well said. कृष्णा जी आप क्या कहेंगे?
How do I put it? So I've been going on a like thought process, like what mindset kind of thing. So there are only two things I will say. Have an kind of extraordinary dream. I mean, dream that you think is unachievable, and the other is spend some time with yourself so that you stay sane. And these two things are my formula for whatever success means, because the rest things fall in line. I mean, like when JFK said that we are going to moon, or man is going to moon, there was no infrastructure, and that sounded like, how can he do it? Or when Narendra Modi says, India should be 3 trillion or 5 trillion, economy. Sometimes it feels like, is it really possible? And but once you set that thing, then things start falling in line. The spending time with yourself will prevent you from burnout, stress, anxiety, and all that. When I say spending time with yourself, I mean some sort of meditation or intermittent silence of 10 minutes, that kind of thing. I mean, I'll give you a simple example of Varun. I went to, I first came in this country, and at that time, um, I was in fellowship. I was getting $30,000 or $35,000 in '88. It wasn't bad. So I went to a 6-day course, and one of the places we were writing down 5 years later what will be my salary. And I put, I thought unreachable, some sum. 5 years later, it was 3 times what I had written. I had kept that logbook or that diary. So there is something to having kind of high aims, or the vision, and then you have to work towards it. But the rest of the things fall in line.
If I, Varun, you want to ask anything, or shall I? You are mute. Varun, you are mute.
Okay, yeah, my button was frozen. I don't know why my screen froze, and yeah, I was unable to mute. Yes, sorry, you were saying something. Yes, Vibhuti.
No,
Okay.
I was saying that you want to say something after Krishnaji said. I just wanted to add a few things here.
Sure, please
In
add.
addition to what Krishnaji said, that
Sure.
commitment is the key, and for everybody. Please bear in mind, success is universal phenomenon. Everybody wants to succeed. What it means to everybody is to first recognize that it is absolute. I will harp on this theme today, is that please begin to acknowledge that I do not have to know everything. And there is the worst thing that can happen to us when we begin to pretend I know everything, because I read on internet, because I did Google. You can find out any information that is there, but that's not learning. That's very important distinction to make. And one of the things is that a very psychological phenomenon, which is with mind, with your abilities and everything, is called confession. The Christians call it confession. We call it, when you declare yourself a self-declared ignorant, SDI, is a phenomenon called SDI, self-declared ignorant. I don't know. It is such a cathartic thing. It takes away so much of your burden off your shoulder, and you lose significant weight when you say that. I don't know. There is such a beautiful sentence. It's not enough to say I know everything. Just to say I don't know something is a big element of life. So once you begin to say that I don't know, so you declare yourself self-declared ignorant, that's the time you conflict, you come into conjunction with a choice point. या हमें करना है या नहीं करना है. Again, the decision point comes in, whether I want to do it or I don't do it. That's what is essential towards learning. But very important part here is also the fact that success, you have to define yourself. And I wanted to definitely allude to one of the elements is that Bhagavad Gita teaches us. Sri Krishna Bhagavan gave the lesson of success formula to Arjun in chapter 18, shlok 14. एंड हमारे साथ कृष्णा जी हैं यहाँ पे. ही नोज, वो बिहारी में हम लोग कहते हैं मुरकट्टी याद होता है. तो कृष्णा जी विल रिमेंबर दैट श्लोक एंड ही विल रिसाइट इट टू यू एंड वी विल डिस्कस दिस each element of that, those 5 points. It's very interesting. Last time we talked about the importance of 5. Here also there is a 5-point formula. Krishna ji, I would request you to take over from here.
You're mute. Krishna ji, आप mute हैं.
Yeah, no, I think Gita has a lot of lessons. I mean, a lot of areas. I think clarity is one of them. Ek buddhi, which I like very much. And if we get into the 5 pillars of what Krishna says, I think it will be a full long discussion that we will probably have another day, or maybe it will take more than one, at least once I get into it.
Sure.
So yes, but yeah, no, I mean, Gita itself, just Gita is a formula for success. I mean, people like Oppenheimer, they used to carry it all the time, and not just carry it, but read it. I also carry it and try to read it when I'm on airplane traveling. So it's a great book, no question.
Correct. But यहाँ पर मैं सिर्फ ये कहूँगा, यहाँ पर everybody wants 2-minute Maggi noodles. The quick meal, the quick solution, right? People will say, कई बार जैसे मैं ये दिखाता हूँ, right, कि इतनी मोटी बुक है, इतनी मोटी गीता है, इसको पढ़ने में ही हमें सालों साल लग जाएंगे with everything that we have.
Right.
How do we get the crux of it? How do we fix this? What is that मूल मंत्र, या वो एक और on a very novice or a very ignorant, मैं भी ignorant होके यहाँ पर कहता हूँ अगर, कि as an ignorant, if I say, how can I get वो कहते हैं ना पूरा juice या सार of Gita in 1 or 2 sentences, how would you tell it to somebody as ignorant as me, or as naive as anybody else?
No, Gita Sar. एक तो बहुत सिंपल आंसर है वरुण जी. उतनी मोटी किताब नहीं लेके, छोटी किताब है गीता प्रेस वाली, वो पॉकेट में आ जाती है, and you can, if you have a 2-hour flight, you can read the whole 700 shlokas in that. So Bhagavad Gita as it is, it's written very well, but it's really, I mean, you need time to read that, because Prabhupada ji really, spent a lot of time on each slok. And same way, Osho, if you see Osho, I think maybe in the back of my library, it's like, 8 volumes of that. But yeah, I usually just take the small Gita press.
Yeah. नहीं, जुगाड़ तो, sorry to use the word जुगाड़, but जुगाड़ तो हम ढूंढ ही लेते हैं, जैसे मैंने भी बताया था, right? I mean, there are devices, gadgets, everything available, कि बैठो और सुनते रहो. But जैसे आप धीरज जैसे लिख रहे हैं यहाँ पर, not 2 sentences, but maybe 5 minutes to get the crux, right? Yeah. How and what would that success mantra that you were alluding to, right? What would be that thing that you can share with our listeners?
I think we have talked that before. I mean, I love that, ek buddhi, I mean, basically, Krishna is saying that if you are in Nishkam Karm, you will get to ek buddhi. Ek buddhi is like, if you are doing a bomb squad and, a bomb kind of wire, red or blue, as you see in the movie. How do you get to that one-mindedness? And Shankaracharya calls it Nishchal Tattva. So basically, I think ultimately Arjun also had to have, which arrow to use. So I think the key thing that I get out of Gita is how do you get clarity. But I'm a karma yogi. We do things like that where ek buddhi is important. And so, I mean, if I have to walk away with one, that will be mine to take. And the other thing, I mean, commonly people say, "Karm karo, phal ki chinta mat karo." And I think someday we will talk about it, Varunji.
Great, great.
Gita, there
Yeah,
is no
looking
place
forward to that.
written in Gita. It's not written ki karm karo, phal ki chinta mat karo.
Right.
It's our interpretation, which I think is wrong because that's not possible.
Got it, got it. No, I'm really looking forward to that. And once I'm also done, maybe किसी दिन मैं भी थोड़ा सा I'll be less ignorant, and then maybe I can also share some light. Because जैसे आप ये देख रहे हैं, right? This is the same problem. I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
And I don't, I'm the last person to shy away from acknowledging anything, being the dumb person in the group, or most ignorant or naive. जैसे धीरज यहाँ लिख रहे हैं, राइट, कि ही इज करंटली रीडिंग गीता. आई एम ग्लैड देयर आर मेनी पीपल I've heard. मैं तो इसका सारा क्रेडिट भी सुशांत को ही देता हूँ कि जब से सुशांत के इस फाइट में और जस्टिस में हम लगे हैं, we've connected to that spiritual side of it. और जब बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं धीरज भी इस टाइम पे. But I'm in chapter 9 now, but I'm not sure if it has made any change yet. So I'm not getting it properly. And this is the problem, like people like me, Dheeraj, many more, कि हम लोग follow करते हैं, because the kind of guidance you guys provide me or others also, uh, this is very important. सुनना सबसे पहली चीज है कि we are listening to you. We really want to do certain things, make some changes. But to get to that success milestone, we also need to have the same kind of maybe the mental level or understanding ya kuch hai which we maybe lack right now. But at least people like Dheeraj, me, we are acknowledging it openly कि हाँ हम पढ़ तो रहे हैं, हम कर तो रहे हैं, हम जुगाड़ भी ढूंढ रहे हैं, हम फुल वर्जन भी रखेंगे, हम छोटा वर्जन भी रखेंगे, हम 2 minute मैगी नूडल वाला वर्जन भी रखेंगे. We'll do whatever it takes. But somehow we are not able to get that actual message. And that's where my thing is, कि किस तरह से हम जैसे अब ये गिरी जी एक लिख रहे हैं, if you understand Telugu, unfortunately not, please watch Shanmukha Sarmagari recent 40-day pravachanam. He goes deep in philosophy and uses Adi Shankara's bhasham. So see, these are the different options. What would you say, Vibhuti ji?
I would, this is the biggest challenge, and I totally agree that when you confess, when you declare yourself self-ignorant, this is what is important. That is the first step. But that's only from that point onwards you begin to take action.
Right.
So I will go back to Sonal's statement that that Sushant had said about known, unknown, 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 and all that. There is a book by Ouspensky, In the Evolution of Man. And he discusses this issue of 4 levels of consciousness: known, unknown, unknown consciousness, unknown consciousness, conscious consciousness, conscious unconsciousness, unconscious consciousness, and conscious consciousness. It's brilliant. Point is very important here is that we are all, what Sonal is talking about here. Are we blind to our blind spot? Since we drive the car, we know the concept of blind spot. Did we ever know about the concept of blind spot until I began to drive in the US? Then I realized, oh, yes, you fall into the blind spot. A lot of accidents happen because of blind spot. That's very important to know that where we are. To other gentlemen's question that I'm on chapter 9 and I have not made any change. Don't look for a change, making a change. Experience. First of all, it is important to experience, and you have to give time for things to happen. It's a very cute example which my professor of marketing had told us in my MBA days. So it is quite some time ago. An American story, Christmas story, he said, and I'll be happy to share that with you. He said there are things you do and then it takes time for things to happen. So he narrated the story of Christmas when mother asks her baby daughter, what do you want for this Christmas? And she says, I want a brother to play with. So mother chuckles and laughs and she says, okay, I'll try to get you a brother next Christmas. She said, no, mom, I want the brother this Christmas. And there is a beautiful back and forth between mother and daughter. And eventually The daughter says, "Why don't you do what dad does in the office?" She says, "What does dad do in the office? Put more men on the job." So you can't produce a result. Certain things will take time.
Right.
So, Dhiraj, read and study. Don't try to read it as a book, as a fiction. It's like try to understand one thing very important. You don't learn a language by reading a dictionary.
Yeah.
At the moment, you are expecting change, that something eureka will happen there. But let me share with you my learning of Bhagavad Gita, how I got more involved, is something which I shared last time, that I was completely devastated and completely destroyed by a combination of factors: deceit, cheating. I lost $90,000 because somebody stole that money from me, and I thought my life was over, because those are moments of such despair that you think it's over. I can't get off this one. And that's the time I was referred to chapter 2, slok 3 about Clavium. That is the one which changed me. That's the time when I became a fighter. That's the time I said, I'm not going to take this lying down. That's the time I woke up. So, Dheeraj, give yourself patience, because maybe you have not related with that. But the success formula that we talk about, you need to give patience and read the chapter 18, slok 5. The 5 formulas of success is already there. Last time Krishnaji had mentioned about SWIM, SWIM. Maybe you will dwell upon that a little bit if it is relevant here, if you feel it, Krishnaji. But success formula is driven in Bhagavad Gita through 5 mool mantra, and that is called, you know, platform, individual, means and tools, various senses, your endeavor and your effort, and then you leave the things to divine. That is important. First of all, you prepare yourself. Then you have to prepare the team. Then you have to prepare the capabilities. Then you have to perform. And then you leave the outcome is not in your control. That's where people have misapplied. Karma karo, phal ki chinta mat karo. Nahi? You don't do anything for losing out. You do things to win, whatever your definition of win is, right?
Yeah.
So that's what is important for us to figure out, that the lessons of Bhagavad Gita will come if you study slowly and deeply, configure, and very important here, take the lesson from Arjun, that he also became the greatest of warriors, not because he was a great warrior, because he won the battle and he had a teacher and a guru and a coach in Krishna. That's what is important for us to understand, that you and I and everybody needs somebody to guide us.
That's true.
It is if it is urology and surgery, there is nothing I know that Krishnaji cannot trash me on. My knowledge is nothing. So why would I compete with him on the area which he has expertise with? Bhim and Duryodhan, they were very good at Gada war. Nobody could beat them. They were mighty warriors in maces. So the point which I'm trying to drive at, the success is all about you. You have to configure what you are best at. Give yourself time. Prepare, practice, learn. There is no substitute to hard work.
Exactly.
You have to
I
continue
agree.
to do that. That's all I will say for the moment. Yes.
True that, true that. Or let me take one question and maybe Krishna ji you can elaborate on this as well. Kanchan ji कह रही हैं inner voice को सुनकर भी according to external voice हमें कर्म करने के लिए मजबूर करता है. इससे कैसे बचा जाए?
I mean, Gita is very clear on that. Karm to karna hi hai. Bachne ka sawal hi nahi. So there is no question it. I mean, even when a sannyasi also has to do karm. So they are. I mean, it's very clear. Krishna says that karm everybody has to do, but then he gets into all nishkam karm and sakam karm, and the akarm and vikarm. I mean, it's a whole thing. We can have a lot of like Telugu guru. I mean, there is a Swami Ramakrishna, the whole thing, Sarv Priyanand. I mean, he gives very good talks about Mandukya Upanishad and Gita and everything else. But for me, Gita is like Ganga Nadi. Unless डुबकी आप नहीं लगाए तब तक you can talk about Ganga, you can know everything about kahan se shuru hua, Gangotri se, and it is cold there, and then, but unless you take that dubki, you don't have that. The same way, Gita ka bhi dubki. Gita ek pravah hai. It's like if you think that Krishna spoke and the sound is still traveling somewhere in the cosmos, even after so many years, it's still the energy is never lost. So Gita is a flow, and yes, we read, but somehow you have to kind of get into the rhythm, and that's why we say part. You read it repeatedly. That Vibhuti ji said, patiently and consistently, and the meaning starts to show up to you, and then you realize. Then I can say strongly कि गीता में नहीं लिखा है कि कर्म करो फल की चिंता मत करो, and I can defend that. But क्योंकि for generations that's what we have been taught. तो एक तरह से I think it is something that yeah, अंदर घुसना.
Yeah.
The other part of
Right.
aligning the mind, body, and spirit is very critical. This is, to use the language. Keep one thing in mind, everybody who is listening here. हम सब आशा करते हैं. We all hope, we all wish, we all desire for something, but we don't commit ourselves to making it happen. So just bear in mind that hope is not a strategy. The good thing about a strategy is that it gives hope a possibility. If you get that, it will do a big help. So it has to be worked on. The best of the moment is that when you are doing something, you find it comes so effortlessly. When something happens effortlessly, that means you got it. And you got it because that's the time when your mind, body, and your flame is in sync. That's very important. And, you will always have, what Kanchanji is talking about, chatter in the mind. That's one thing. Hoga ya nahi hoga? Will I be successful? What will people say? These are what we call the enemies of learning. You have to quieten down. The chatter in the mind that is happening, that can be calmed, controlled, managed through meditation, through relaxation, through playing music, doing art. This is the time when you begin to calm down those fissiparous tendencies that create doubt in your mind. So that's what is important to bear in mind, how important it is for you to achieve what you want to see. Then the chatter doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter.
Got it. Giri's written a kind of a very, good statement. When people talk of karma has to be shastras prescribed. Lots of people think going to office for work is karma. That is only for food and house, not spiritual upliftment. क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप इसके ऊपर कुछ? Anybody?
Yeah, I mean, he's right. I mean, you have two jobs. One is the day job, and the other is, job to yourself. So you do need the day job. If you don't need it, you don't have to do it. And, you can spend in a spiritual pursuit, which is sannyas, karm sannyas. I mean, कर्म से ही संन्यास ले लेते हैं कुछ लोग, and the sadhus and swamis and all that, and their whole logic is कि ये कर्म तो हम कई जन्म किए, कुछ नहीं मिला, इस जन्म में हम I won't do that and I will pursue something else. But yes, I mean, what he's saying is right. I think towards the end, I will just pick on Vibhutiji's point about the inner flame or inner universe or inside. And I love that story, which many of us, when we hear, we just say, Krishna Bhagavan. But when he was young, वो मिट्टी खाए हुए थे और कंप्लेन हुआ माँ यशोदा को कि भाई ये जो कृष्ण है वो मिट्टी खा रहे हैं. तो वो शी वाज एंग्री, बोली मुंह खोलो, एंड कृष्ण मुंह नहीं खोल रहे थे. एंड एनीवे, आई मीन आफ्टर अ लॉट ऑफ परसिवियरेंस मुंह खोलते हैं तो पूरा सृष्टि अंदर में नजर आती है. तो हम लोग हाथ जोड़ लेते हैं, लेकिन इट इज ए सिंबॉलिक, इट्स ए ब्यूटीफुल सिंबल कि जो एक बाहर की दुनिया है, जो आकाश है, उस आकाश के कभी बादल हैं, कभी बर्फ पड़ता है, कभी सुनामी आती है, लेकिन जब सब चला जाता है तो फिर स्वच्छ आकाश रहता है। उसी तरह से अंदर में भी एक दुनिया है, और वो जो इनर दुनिया है वो भी खाली नहीं है। व्हेन वी से साइलेंस इज द लैंग्वेज ऑफ इनर यूनिवर्स, वहाँ साइलेंस बिल्कुल नहीं है। वो वाइब्रेंट, इट्स लाइक वाइब्रेंट स्पेस है। बहुत उसमें हमारी चेतना है, जो कि कॉन्शियसनेस ट्रांसलेट करते हैं हम लोग। एंड उसके अंदर में सब कुछ है, अच्छाई है, बुराई है, जेलसी है, प्रेम है, सब कुछ है उसके अंदर में। सो दैट्स व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू एक्सप्लेन एंड एक्सप्लोर इन आवर ऐप, कि बाहर के और वहाँ की दुनिया से जब स्ट्रेंथ मिलता है तो बाहर की दुनिया में यू कैन मैनिफेस्ट दोज थिंग्स इन फॉर्म्स दैट विल ब्रिंग सक्सेस।
Right.
Can I have that question statement previous one, the कर्म की जहाँ तक बात की थी, previous one? When people talk of karma has to be shastras prescribed. A lot of people think going to office for work is only karma. That is only for food and house, and you can't be more correct, Giri. Absolutely correct. This is what I call indentured servitude. That what you are doing is serving at a moment for food, housing, and maintaining and managing your family and so-called material requirements. That's not karma. Karma is defining your own purpose. Why are you here, Giri? Why am I here? So unless and until we have found the purpose of our being here, that's what Faiz was talking about, Sanatan principles. Like when you look at the life around you, all are human beings. There is no difference between one human being and the other than that we look differently and our capabilities are different, we think differently. But there is a element of universality that exists in the world. It is the same sun across all the continents, all the universe for all people. Each one experiences the sun in different ways depending on their geographical location. Today we had in New York, I don't know, Maine must be much more cold here than it was in New York.
-6 this morning.
-6, when we were doing better than you, we were -8.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I can't believe that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were -8 with wind chill, and we were reducing it to even
Oh,
worse.
God.
I went
I
out
thought
for,
I thought
for a
we
walk
were
for a
cold.
walk. But in Bombay, 21 degrees Celsius is cold. Theory of relativity operates in bizarre ways. So
I'm
that's
so
what is
glad
important.
I'm neither in New York, I'm neither in Maine, because we were like about 20 degrees Celsius, if I have to say. But that was also a little cold for a lot of people here. Imagine.
So that's the point which I'm trying to say. That
Exactly.
is the universal thing of life,
Yeah.
is absolutely universal. Every woman takes 9 months to deliver a human child, what is called biologically a normal child, right? 9 months. Nobody's God, nobody's magician has ever changed that equation. That's
Yeah.
the universal truth. If we begin to focus on universal truths, tell me, is there any parent that doesn't want their child's welfare?
Yeah.
Not possible. Every parent everywhere on the planet Earth wants their children to succeed and be happy. These are called universal principles. So I would stop here. We need to be stopping. We have
Correct.
8 full minutes to go.
No,
Exactly.
Vibhuti
Just
ji, I think if anyone, if I have to take one lesson from this whole episode, it is we have a general purpose and we have a higher purpose. I think
Absolutely.
you said it beautifully.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
right. Now, so like we said, last 8 minutes, 6 minutes, one question, and maybe uske baad, I would love all of both of you to kind of, give your final kind of words. I like this word that Sonal again has used, monkey mind. Because it's just not monkey. I think I have more than monkey. I mean, any animal you can think of is always going around, and and I will just speak on my behalf, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate with my situation, because uh, life में बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं. There are a lot of distractions, there is a lot of noise, there is a lot of commotion, which is life. That is why I'm alive, because I have all that happening. Otherwise I would have been gone. Now, based on this, to achieve that kind of success, there will be distractions, there will be disruptions, there'll be noises, there'll be conflicts of interest, whatnot, right? How do we, ये सारा जो fog है, ये जो सारा confusion है, इससे निकल के, how do you think, should I achieve, or I should focus on getting that success that I've been targeting? Of course, it will take time. Of course, it will take perseverance. It will take a lot of patience. So these are the elements that I have assimilated, that I've heard you guys, both of you, talking about. But if I have to kind of just summarize this, कि मुझे वो success है, इतना कुछ मेरे चल रहा है, how do I focus myself, and how can this relax app eventually can help me in getting to my success goal? Who wants to?
I'll take it, Sonalji and Varunji. I'm an anti-monkey mind person, So,
Okay.
and the reason is, yes, आपने गिना दिया बहुत सारी चीजें जो कि they are correct, but you have become where you are. Look at you. I mean, you're doing all these shows, and I mean, many people will regard you as a successful person, and probably Sonalji as well. वो आया कहाँ से? वो आया उसी माइंड से जिसको आप मंकी बोल रहे हैं. तो हम बोलते हैं कि भाई प्लीज स्टार्ट हैविंग ए फ्रेंडली रिलेशनशिप विथ योर माइंड. यस, कभी कभी इधर उधर जाता है, उसका काम है, बट that is the one that gives you what you have become, and that is what will give you success in future. तो थोड़ा दोस्ती करके चलिए, coexist करके चलिए.
Right.
I think that change in attitude with your mind, कि मेरा mind ऐसा है, and that is the mind that has brought you here. So, just think about it a little bit.
True. I get it.
Sonali anti-monkey.
Yeah. No, it's not easy. To be very honest, and I think it's easier said than done, Krishna ji. हम लोग थोड़ा सा, if we get to that stage, yeah, if we get to that experience level, yeah, if we get to that kind of वो calmness जिसे कहते हैं ना, and I'm not the best example. When I'm watching my kids doing almost the same thing, I'm like, ये तो मैं ही करता हूँ, और अब मैं कैसे, how do I even explain it to my daughter now that stop doing this when I myself am doing it? That's a
नहीं, लेकिन 5,000 साल पहले सोनल जी, अर्जुन भी तो यही बोला, चंचल ही मनः कृष्ण. तो उसका आंसर कृष्ण का, आई लव दैट आंसर. आई हैव सेड दैट बिफोर. अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय. Practice. I mean,
yeah.
The answer was then practice. Answer is now practice, and it happens. I mean, he also adds vairagya to that, but practice is what we need.
I love this element of monkey business, and it's called for a purpose. It's called for a purpose because we are all victims of that, and that happens also because we don't want to do it. We want somebody to be blamed. And that's why we play the blame game. Why I didn't do this? Because of that.
Because of my mind. Yeah, monkey mind.
It's all going on. That's what Krishnaji said. Become friends with your mind, right? So Sonalji, there is a very important one here. The monkey business, what we call chatter. It will happen all the time. I would urge you to go to the app, go to the playlist, and listen to the butterfly thing. When I was listening to the butterfly meditation, I felt, what does a butterfly do? It keeps just flying directionless kind of thing. It's to the naked eye, it feels as if the butterfly is going directionless. But butterfly has also a purpose. It goes from one flower to another. It has a very short life if somebody touches it. Your mind, the monkey in the mind, is also like butterfly. It flutters and dies if you let it die. How do you let it die? How do you let it die or go? Is understanding the scenario. It's there only for a temporary moment. It's a chatter. And that's it. You are a member of so many WhatsApp groups. How many messages do you screen through all? Tell me that. I'm 100% sure that 90% of us delete all messages early morning before we begin the day. Right? I took an action today. I walked out of 12 groups I was member of by giving them a note saying that I'm withdrawing for a sabbatical that I'm taking for 3 months. I'll come back after 3 months to the group. But in the meanwhile, I want to I'm taking control of my mind and my action. That's how you deal with your monkey. And it's a very nice example. When I was learning meditation, I was told that When you drop a stone or a brick in the water, the maximum splash happens on the surface, right? As that same stone keeps going under in the water deeper and deeper, it's not moving the water at all. It quietly settles down. That's the practice that we need to do to control the chatter, the monkey. Aaya hai, jane do. You have to let it go. The fiercest of bullets will not kill you if you successfully duck, right? The bullet will go past. It's like a friend of mine in the 1971 war, his brother was in Chicken's Neck area, and in a major battlefront in this. He said, how did you, when we came back, we were very excited to know what the whole war was. He said, the moment a bullet went past my ear, I said, Maro Salego. So otherwise my life will go. You have to let the chatter go by dealing with it. Let it go. So we are reaching.
Great, wonderful session, wonderful discussion. On a lighter note, जैसे नवीना जी कह रही हैं, Sonal, we've evolved from monkeys, so it's okay. So yes, ये monkey business तो नहीं, but yes, this is a serious business, serious conversations. We'll definitely continue more of these, but don't miss out on the app, Relax app. Please download and check it out for yourself. And we'll continue such wonderful sessions. Once again, thanks to both of you for the enlightenment. And जैसे कि कृष्णा जी ने बोला कि जरूरी नहीं है कि इतनी मोटी बुक ही लेनी है, गीता के बहुत छोटी सिंपल आती हैं, ऑडियोज आते हैं. Otherwise, I'll tell you, the best thing is just download the Relax app and experience it for yourself. Thank you once again, both of you. I'll see you next Tuesday again as we continue this. Before we end, anything anybody wants to add out of you two?
I would say to all of you, the monkey in the mind, the butterfly, listen to the butterfly in the app. You will have a feeling. You will feel. I was feeling that I was jumping from one flower to another. And as the music ended, I said, it's all over. Think about it from that point of view and experience it. There is nothing that replaces experience. Because each one of us have different experience of life.
Perfect.
And nothing is compared to another one's. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Varunji.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you,
Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and stay safe, guys, and take COVID very seriously. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye now.